Hello, everybody. This is Thaddeus with Wholesale TV, and I got a special guest with me today, Renaissance Reg. He is a businessman, a family man, a wholesaler, author, and a mentor. How you doing today, Reg?
Pretty good. How
Reggie?
about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, it's Veterans Day. It's 11/11. I
Yeah.
It's an auspicious date. For an auspicious reunion that we have going on today. So I'm doing great. I don't know if anybody knows, but I was in the Air Force. So if you guys want to, leave anything, send a couple dollars or something, much appreciated. But anyway, um, I know 11 means a lot to you. What, because you wanted us to choose this date. Why exactly, did you want us to choose this date for this reunion?
Well, one of my companies is 1111 Ventures, and prior to my journey with real estate, I kept seeing that number, man, everywhere. 1111, 1111. I'm like, why am I keep seeing this number, right? And
Yeah.
it pretty much was saying that, you know, the forces are leading me to the right direction, to the path, and knowing that I'm going to the direction in which I'm supposed to be in, right?
Yeah.
Because real estate not only changed my life, but it changed my family's life. And, that means a lot to me. So 11/11, 2022, you got 11 plus 11
Yeah. 11
is
plus
22.
11.
So it was like, might as well do it on this day because initially we were supposed to do it yesterday.
Yeah. Supposed to yesterday.
But, that's a significant number for me. It's almost like
Gotcha.
I have a guiding force leading me to where I'm at right now and where I'm going. So,
Well, I mean, it really must be leading you because, it was supposed to be yesterday. And then we got 11, 11, 22, which is 11 plus 11. So there
yeah,
might be something going on.
maybe
There's
something going, man. There's
there's some
something in
other
the water.
forces at work here
Yeah.
going on here. I don't,
Yeah.
auspicious date. All right. How did you get started? Like how did you get started? I know as a businessman or like, how did you get started on this path?
Man, it was a years journey, man, because I have a background in a lot of stuff, believe it or not. I'll reveal my age. I'm 40 years old now. Though I may not look like I'm 40. I hope I don't.
No, you don't.
But it started when I was young, man. I initially I worked in factories growing up. I mean, I didn't go to college until like later on in my 20s because I didn't want to waste my time nor money.
Yeah.
So 18, 19, 20, I'm working at factories, I'm working at DHL, working on assembly lines. And then it changed. I worked for a window company called Pella Windows, right? And I used to stay in windows and doors, like mix a stain and go to these homes and help with the, installation of these windows and doors. And I went to one particular house. I'd never forget it. This is what changed my life. We did windows and doors in a prestigious community in the Cincinnati area. And these people spent $150,000 just on windows and doors, man. And I went in this house and it was worth like $1.5 million. Now, mind you, $1.5 million almost what, 15 years ago?
Yeah, that might be 5 million or
Yeah,
something.
it's
Yeah, I
crazy.
don't know,
So
3 million. Yeah.
I'm seeing these huge kitchens with these sub-zero freezers and the huge islands and nice backyards. And I'm like, man, I never seen nothing like that in my life. I didn't grow up in that type of environment. I didn't grow up poor or anything, but I never seen a house that magnitude that I was actually in.
Yeah.
So as time went by, they started doing different things like Homerama, which is like a big thing in the Midwest. I think it may be everywhere else, but they allow people to look at $1 million homes and walk through them with fully furnished. So you may look at 8 different homes, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, whatever these people are doing, I need to be in it, right?
Yeah.
And come to find out, a lot of these people, not only were they just attorneys and doctors, but every last one of them also invested in real estate. And I said, dang, I need to get in real estate one way, shape, form, or fashion. So to make a long story short, I went to college for business management and marketing. I got a career. I work with Navient Student Loans, which is formerly Sally Mae. I got a lot of my skills and training working doing that, learning how to talk to people on the phone. right?
Yeah.
And then I went from there to logistics to understand how to bridge the gap with everything. So when I got into real estate, everything just clicked. You know what I mean? Everything just clicked. The verbiage is different, but the concept is the same.
About what year was that when you got
Uh,
into real estate?
That I got into real estate 20, what is it, 2022 now? 2019, I really started studying hard, man. I'm
I was
talking
gonna say
about
2011. I was waiting for 2011, but
nah, not 2011.
2019.
2019, I really like start focusing in on doing as much research as I can with real estate, mainly wholesaling. You
Yeah.
know, I didn't want to become an agent. Uh, I didn't want to do like the fix and flips, like going in and using a hammer. Like I didn't want to do all of that
Yeah,
stuff,
you don't want to
you
do
know.
that.
So I started researching wholesaling. I started going on YouTube. I was looking at the Jerry Nortons, the Max Maxwell, the Carlos Reyes, all of these different people. And I'm like, wholesaling is nothing but middlemaning, but you're providing a service. And I'm like, this is more so a service based business than anything, right?
Yeah.
So when I got into it, it took me a while to have the nerve to reach out to who was my mentor because I'm like, man, I feel like I know it sounds crazy, but I felt like less of a man reaching out. You know what
You
I mean? And I
asking
was
for
like,
help, you're like,
yeah, I'm like,
I
man,
need your help, you know.
yeah, I was struggling at the time. I was working two jobs. You know,
Yeah.
we got a big family. It's seven of us, including myself, five girls, and then so even with working, I'm like, man, it's just not it's not coming together,
Yeah,
man.
it's not meeting.
So I'm on Facebook one day, and I wasn't even on Facebook at the time, and then this guy popped up that I knew from years prior. And I said, man, this guy looks totally different than when I met him years ago. I'm talking about he had a glow about himself. He on his profile, he had a suit on, and he had glasses on, he's smiling, he's happy. I'm
You got
seeing
an
all these
aura. You got an
pictures of
aura around
yeah.
it.
I'm seeing those pictures of him and his family that's got a house built. I'm like, wait a minute. I remember this dude 5 years ago
Yeah.
living in his mom's basement, man. This is for real.
What changed? Okay.
So I'm like, I just reach out. I say, man, I don't know what you're doing, but congratulations on whatever you're doing. Let me know if I can be a part of it. And he hit me back. He said, real estate. That's what I'm doing, real estate. I said, man, let's go to lunch, man. I want to talk to you more about it. So we talked about it. And I said, I want to pick your brain. He said, no, you're not going to pick my brain. He said, you're going to do one or two things. You're going to do your research or you're going to work with me and learn this stuff. I said, look, I don't care. I'll work with you, man. So for 6 months, I did literally any and everything that he asked me to do. Um, he was wholesaling and he was a big time fix and flipper. So I would talk to the sellers. I would find buyers for them. I would go to the walkthroughs. I put lock boxes on. I'm going to vacant properties with raccoons in there. And he's like,
Yeah.
no, go upstairs and check it out. So he's teaching me all of this stuff.
Yeah.
I had conflict issues with like ex-husbands of the sellers or whatnot. But
Yeah.
to segue on that, let me tell you that story real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, actually, I'll tell it after. So anyway,
Okay.
so we go through this whole process, and I'm learning things about contracts, cold calling, and I'm like, this is a lot of information. But he was literally giving me the formula to succeed in wholesaling.
Yeah.
So I branched off and I did my own thing, and he gave me his blessing, like go for it. So my first deal, I made like $6,000 something, and I thought that blew my mind,
Yeah.
man.
Woo! Yeah.
I'm like $6,000, man. And how I got that deal, now I can tell that story. How I got that deal was, and working with my mentor, we had, I think it was 9 properties that we had under contract from one seller. And I got every last one of these bad boys under contract, right? Got
Okay.
good prices for it. All she wanted to do was pay her taxes and make like $5,000 a house. I'm like, oh, you can't beat this. She owed money in taxes, but I'm like $5,000 a house. It's only like $45,000 she wanted in her pocket after paying her taxes. Got it under contract, did everything, did the walkthrough. It was an amazing experience, and I had so many people want to buy these properties, but it was one thing I forgot to do. And my mentor didn't stop me because he wanted to teach me a lesson. I didn't even send the purchase agreement to the title company to open escrow. I just had a
Mm.
contract with nothing else. And that's one thing he taught me. Put it on the contract to the title company, put it in escrow. So I didn't do it. So a buyer was like, "Hey man, did you do a title search on this?" I'm like, I couldn't say yes or so no. I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, I know how to get information. This thing, and he said, like, it seems like you have these properties owe back taxes, which I understand. He said, but did you know they had a medical lien on here for 400 and something $1,000?
Ooh.
And I'm like, dang, these properties was not worth that much after you pay the back taxes, which was like $250,000 for them. Then you pay the medical. You already have 600 something $1,000,
Yeah.
and then she wants $5,000 per. No deals would have made sense. But that wasn't the worst thing. She had just went through a divorce, but her husband's name was still on the deed. So it was
Yeah.
like the biggest lesson I learned. The lesson I learned is always do a title search. Make sure that they don't have any liens or judgment. And if they have liens or judgment, to assure that it's paid off and you have enough wiggle room to make it happen.
So you like to do your title search before you find the buyer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what I generally do, as soon as I get under contract, um, I send it over to the title company. They open escrow, do the inspection period or whatnot, and especially virtual wholesaling. I file a memorandum. I put that in my agreement because in certain states you can't file a memorandum; it can become a misdemeanor. So what I did is I added that stipulation in every last one of my
Mhm.
agreements. So once they sign off, I'm able to file a memorandum. And for those who don't know, it's like a notice of interest to the public with your county's recorder's office. And in a sense, it kind of clouds the title to let people know you're the one that has rights to the property to purchase it. So I do that, and then I have my buyer, and they go through. So if anyone tries to backdoor me, they can't,
Yeah.
you know. And then I'll
Good
find out
plan.
anyway
Good plan.
because they have to get in contact with me. So that's what I generally do.
Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense. Good policy.
Yeah.
So you learned. Did any of those houses get sold? Of course not.
No, they didn't. That was years ago, and it's still sitting on. Well, actually, they all got taken because of the tax foreclosure.
Mm,
Like when you owe
yeah.
taxes in the state of Ohio, they can foreclose on your home and then sell it at an auction or whatnot. So all of those homes are pretty much gone now. Um, but no, I did my first deal with $6,000, and how I got that deal, it was because the cash buyers that went to a couple of the walkthroughs from those 9 properties, they were
Hmm.
so impressed with how organized it was
Yeah.
because I would have like the 5 buyers and I made it like auction style. Everyone meet here at 12 o'clock. So everyone
All
was
right. All
there.
right.
I said, bring your inspector or your contractor with you. This is the one and only time you'll be able to check it out. So one of the buyers that wanted to buy a property, he was so impressed with what I did. He reached out to me, said, Reggie, man, I got a family friend that's trying to sell a house. I'm not interested in buying it. Would you like to wholesale it? And we can do a joint venture on there. I'm like, man, I never did a deal in my life. But, you know, I busted my butt out. I went on Facebook Marketplace and I made a post up and got like some buyers. I vetted the buyers. I got the proof of funds. It was a local buyer. It wasn't like a big time hedge fund buyer. So I got the proof of funds. I did everything I needed to do. And I took the highest and best offer. And I made 6,000 something dollars. The second and third deal, I didn't make that much. The deal took so much out of me. I was about to quit, to be honest. It
Quit
was,
wholesaling. Quit the
I was,
deal.
I was gonna quit wholesaling. It was
Oh
so
man.
stressful. It was so stressful because I couldn't find a buyer. It was in a bad area. It was in a bad market. It needed too much work. So eventually, I just told the guy, I said, man, look, man, I can't find a buyer for you. He said, man, I just want to be done with it. So, uh, and it's crazy. One of the contractors that went to um, one of the walkthroughs, he reached out to me. He said, you got any property? I said, I got one for this amount. He said, well, I can't afford to pay that. Is he willing to do seller financing? So I reached out to the guy. I
Mm.
said, hey, man, I have someone that wants to buy it. If you're willing to do seller finance, he said, let's run it. So I got 2 buyers out of that.
So you
Him,
seller finance your third deal or your fourth deal?
second and third deal, I seller finance and I made money in between there.
Wow. You
And
talking
then the
about in the
third,
fast
yeah,
lane. Fast
yeah.
lane, man.
It wasn't that much. I only made I just wanted to make something off of it. I only made like $1,500, man.
But yeah, I
Off
mean, fast lane regards to knowledge. Like,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
takes a
yeah.
long
I
time
had,
for
I had to
people to
figure it
build.
out.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
figure it out quick.
So I made like 1,500 on those 2 deals, and there was a third deal that was one of the like partners or something. He wanted to do a seller finance, only made $400 off there. It sounds crazy, but I learned a lot of lessons. So
Yeah.
6,000, 15, 15, 400. Average person's like, man, you're a horrible wholesaler. No, at the beginning, I didn't have real life experience until that point. And then I
Yeah.
figured it out. Relationships is key.
Relationships. What they say,
Relationships are
your
key.
network is your network is your net worth.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I've always looked at building great rapport with people and building relationships. And then one of my biggest deals at the time, and this is what changed my entire life. So I didn't have what I have now. I didn't have all of these cold callers and VAs and big lists. It was me, a former business partner, uh, some lady I used to work with that was in between jobs, and a guy that reached out to me on Facebook. So it was the 4 of us, and we're cold calling. I hate cold calling. So
Yeah.
we're cold calling, and one of the guys said, "Hey man," because he was laid off. He said, "Well, my job
Was,
wants me back." Go ahead.
was this all one joint venture or like?
Yeah, so
uh,
my partner, we was 50-50, and these people got paid $500 if they closed the deal, which
Okay. Okay.
at the time I didn't know what I was doing because acquisitions people get paid more than that, but they were cold calls. There wasn't acquisition. I was the acquisition.
Yeah.
So if you just get it over to me, we get on the contract, you get $500. So if you do 5 deals, you just made $2,500. We never got that far because he ended up
Yeah.
leaving, going to his job. He was a chef, so he got his job. So we're one less person. And then she started a business venture with selling hair products and things like that, extremely successful. So it's just me and him. And like a week goes by, and I get a phone call on my personal cell. I never give people my personal cell. No, I just changed my number.
Yeah.
So a lady calls. She says, "Is this Reggie?" I'm like, "Okay, I don't own any bills. This can't be a collection, right?"
Yeah.
So I said, "Yeah, this is Reggie." She said, Reggie, that works with." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I work with him." He said, "Well, you know what, Reggie? I knew you when you were a kid." I'm like, "This is weird. Who is this?" She said, "I spoke to your associate. I'm the caregiver for her. She wants to sell her property, but she just don't want to sell it to anyone. So when your name came across, I recognize your name. I'm reaching out to you. I remember when you were a kid, and I was fond of how your parents raised you and your siblings, right?"
Wow. Wow. Okay. 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 Big
So
ups.
so she
Parents.
said, "Yeah, big ups to them."
Yeah.
So
Big
she said,
ups.
"Based upon that, I'll give you the opportunity to present the deal." So my business partner at the time, he did not comp it right at all, right? He offered
Mhm.
this lady $30,000. She said, "I don't care. I just want to be done with it. My ex-husband staying there. I inherited the property. I can't afford to pay the taxes. I can't afford to keep it updated.
Mm.
Give me 30,000." $30,000. When I comped it, and I still wasn't good at comping. This was like a turn of an area that was being gentrified, but you didn't have enough data yet. You just saw people buying, but you didn't see them flip it yet. So the same buyer that did my 6,000 deal, which
Yeah.
was in the same neighborhood, he said, "I want it." So I did the highest and best offer. We wholesaled it for $86,000.
Wow. Okay. Okay. That changed the whole
Change
everything.
change everything. So so we made $56,000, but not fully $56,000 because I found out, hey man, you may want to double close this. This is a lot of money. So I did an A to B,
Yeah.
right? And then I did the B to C. I went out to a funding source that did transactional funding for me, and he took care of it. And after closing costs and everything, we made like 50 something grand. So immediately I bought computers, laptops, got an office space, phone, phone number, website, email address. Like I really did it for real, like really did the
Yeah.
business as a business. And once we did that, we got like 20,000 leads, 3 cold callers. I handle acquisition, my partner handled disposition. And next thing you know, we start booming. Mind you, this is when COVID first started.
Mm,
And
yeah.
everyone was scared. And I said,
Yeah.
look, man, I have nothing to lose. I'll put a mask on if I need to, throw some gloves and meet these people at the house. So
Yeah.
we started booming, man, and we started getting tons of leads. We got so many leads that we were losing deals. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I couldn't get
And
to it
hold,
enough.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, you couldn't even hold on to them. It's just, the
yeah,
dollars just flying around.
yes.
Yeah.
So that was a good problem to have. So that's when we hired another acquisition person in a neighboring city, and he knew everything about it because we used to work together. Believe it or not, he used to be my old supervisor, and he know my work. He knew my work ethic. I knew his work ethic. His wife is a real estate agent, but him and his brothers did flips, and they knew that market, which was like the Dayton market, right? Dayton, Ohio, and I
Yeah.
was based in Cincinnati. So he did acquisitions for Dayton, and we just kept booming. Then we went to Columbus. Then we went to Cleveland. Then we did Northern Kentucky. Then we did Indianapolis. And then now, what we're doing, we're in so many different markets. It's like, man, all you have to do is rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
You know, even
So,
with the
so do
market
you do
share.
you do the acquisition? He does the dispos, or what?
That was,
What are
yeah,
y'all?
at the time I was doing acquisition, he was doing dispo. But as we grew, I just started uh working with the acquisition manager saying like training them, hey, this
Yeah.
is what we need to do. That was locally. But then when we started going to different markets, I started reaching out to other wholesalers and we just started doing 50-50. I'll get the buyers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you handle the sales side and we just partner it up. Like I don't, a lot of these gurus say, hey, pay these people 15%, 10%. That's cool. But you do that to rookies. If you got a bona fide wholesaler that's great
Yeah.
in their market, you can't just give them pennies on the dollar and think they're going to stick around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They'll be gone like 2 deals or something.
Yeah. So that was my business model. I'm like, man, we gonna partner on these deals. So now I just start expanding my brand to different places,
Yeah.
and we just do a JV. We fill out the 1099 form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They handle their taxes, I handle mine, and we just keep it moving.
Yeah. It sounds like a good plan. I got another question. What does the Renaissance Reg mean? Like, what does the Renaissance mean to you, or what does that mean?
Man, with me being 40 years old, I did so much. I sound like an old man, like I'm 80 years old, but
I
in this short
seen
time,
some stuff. He said, I seen some.
yeah, I did so much, man. I went from, working those dead end jobs to going to college to working in a corporate world. But I also used to be a party promoter, right?
Wow.
So I used my marketing skills to do party promotion, and we used to bring like different acts to perform, and we'd do like exclusive parties and different things like that. 800 people would show up, 20 $30 a piece. We were making good money, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we were in our 20s. So I went from that and I transitioned into music management and doing like A&R things and things of that nature. And then I learned the art of repetition. Like, when you hear songs, a hit song usually say the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, all right, if you say something like, I'm getting to the money, I'm getting to the money, I'm getting to the money,
Yeah.
getting to the. So I learned like, oh, repetition is what makes people pay attention. So I just took my party promotion skills, my skills of working at a factory, my skills of working in corporate, my skills of working in music, my skills of working in logistics, and I put them all together. And then I learned how to do credit repair, and I wrote a book on it called Credit is Key. You can look that
Credit
up
is key. Okay.
on
I'm gonna put
Amazon.
it. I'm gonna put it down in the link so people can find it.
Yeah. So I learned all of that and I put it together. And then I just looked at wholesale. I'm like, man, this is an opportunity to change my life, my family's life, and to really leave behind a legacy. And not just wholesaling, real estate in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Can you tell us a little bit about your operation? So you do mostly just the cold calling. I know you do. I know you have the other wholesalers, but I mean, do y'all do like any mailers? Do y'all do any text messages? You do door knocking, or is it just the
Yeah.
callers, or how do you do?
We do majority cold callers. Certain markets we may do like an SMS. But if we send in mailers, these are people that we couldn't get in contact with on the phone. We couldn't get in contact via text message. And there is no response. And we have, just face it, a lot of older people don't really answer their cell phone. My parents are 75 and 80 years old. They don't answer their cell phone for nothing, man. They don't text message for nothing. If they want something, they'll call you,
Yeah,
right?
they'll call you. Yep, my
But
dad's.
if they got a letter in the mail, they opening that bad boy and they reading it like, all right, what is
Yeah, they
this?
do that.
You know what I
That's
mean?
true. Yeah,
So
that's exactly true.
for my older potential sellers, I send out mailers to them. If it's a hot neighborhood that I really want to infiltrate, I'm sending everything. I'm talking about everything. I'm gonna cold call you. You're gonna do SMS. You're gonna do Ringo's voicemail. We're gonna send uh postcard like flyers. We're gonna send letters. Because so what? What if you spend $2,000 but you made $30,000? That's a great investment.
Great return.
Great return.
Yeah,
And I got myself out of the mindset of all this money is mine. It's not yours. It's your company's money. And you got to reinvest it. If you don't reinvest in your business, it's gonna fail.
yeah, you'll be out the game real
Yeah.
soon.
And then you got to start putting more money in it. Just look at if you look at your business like a newborn baby, right? At the beginning, you're being careful, you're holding, you're coddling. You don't want it to get out of source, so you pacify it a little bit. But as they grow, that formula or whatever you do, you have to give them more milk. And as they get more milk, they get tired of the milk. They can't do the milk, so you got to give them like little foods, like you know, little smash up green
Yeah,
beans. But then you give them food, and then as they get older, they want more food. They need more food. They need more activity. And that's how you have to do with your business. As your business grows, you got to pump more into it if you want more out of it.
yeah.
But if you
You
don't,
don't want to stunt the growth.
nah, if you don't feed your baby's gonna die. And you
Yeah,
can't just have anybody holding your baby either.
that's true.
So
Good
I look at my
analogy.
business like a baby, man. Like I'm not just gonna let anybody in. I'm sorry.
Would you consider your business like what life stage is your business in right now? Like the teenage life stage, you
Nah,
know.
man. We're drinking right now.
Oh man, it's an adult. It's a
Yeah,
full grown adult. We drinking, we
we're
partying. Okay,
we're drinking, but we're drinking responsibly. You know what I
okay,
mean?
okay, okay.
And then we're
Bottle
gonna be
popping responsibly.
yeah, but we're gonna be in a 401k stage in a minute where you start really
Oh, okay,
caring about your yeah. So
mature
right
business. Okay,
right now we're like the age of 21 or 24. You're still enjoying it. You're having fun, but
yeah,
it's time to like really buckle down and
yeah.
make everything that you do from this point on meaningful.
Make it count. Make
Make
it
it
count.
count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff, man. Good stuff. What are your tips for new wholesalers?
The first thing has nothing to do with money. Has nothing to do with experience. You got two choices on how you're gonna move. It's either gonna be faith or fear. You have to choose one because faith and fear can't stay in the same house. If you have fear, you won't be successful. If you have faith, now you have the ability to know that I can. You just have to plant
Yeah,
that seed to know that I can do it,
yeah,
regardless of the circumstances. And then all you have to do is go out there and apply the knowledge that you receive, whether you're looking at YouTube, whether you get a mentor, whether you're studying, you have to be serious about what you're going to do and have faith that it's going to work. That's the first thing. The second thing
First thing.
is you have to have a system in place. You know, if you don't have a system in place, you're designed to fail. You know what I mean? You're not going to succeed if you don't have a system. I know exactly what's going to happen every single day. I can look at numbers and tell exactly how my month is going to be. You got to have KPIs. You got to have a system in place to know, okay, I just spent X amount of dollars in uh, marketing. This is how many people that's in this list. This is how many people we contacted. This is how many leads we got. This is how many contracts we have. This is the projected close amount to a T. If you don't
Yeah.
know that, you're hoping.
How long were you in business before you could have it down? Like so, like the weather. Like you like the weather, man. How did you have it down like that? I
Now
mean,
you
how
know
long did it
what?
take you? How long did it take you?
It took me like a good 4 months because I understood the concept. Um, it was a quote on this movie Colors. I'm not gonna say the real quote, but I'm gonna say it, paraphrase it.
Okay.
He said, why run down and get one cow if you can walk down and get them all? And what that means is so many people move like
Um,
this. They have no rhyme or reason of what they do. I sit back and I reflect and I look at the market. Okay, this is what the people are buying. This is what I'm going to provide. Not the other way around. I'm not going to say, hey, this is what I'm going to give you. And they're like, I'm not buying that. I just wasted my marketing dollars.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I really like your walk down, versus run down. That's nice. I'm gonna use that.
you got to walk down and just know what you're doing. And you can get everything that you need.
I know there's some tips, but are there any other? What's the biggest mistakes that wholesalers make? Just the system. Anything else?
The biggest thing they make, they hold deals so close to the vest and they try to get too much money.
that
You know what I
is
mean?
an insightful. That is probably the biggest. That is probably the biggest mistake that wholesalers make
Yeah.
all over the. They're like,
Yeah.
I ain't telling nobody. This
Yeah.
is
They have a property under contract for 50 and the ARV is 120 and they want 80 grand. It's not happening.
yeah,
Why don't you take that quick 15 and keep it moving? And if you can't find a buyer, you better joint venture with someone that already been doing it. But before you joint venture, and this is my biggest pet peeve with any wholesalers that try to joint venture with me,
yeah,
you better have it under contract. You better have it under contract. Before we talk any business, show me the agreement that you got, right? Because I'm not about to stick my neck out, reach out to my buyers, and you don't have it under contract and somebody else got it. I just wasted my time and ruin my reputation because I have a strong reputation on bringing good deals to cash
yeah,
buyers. So they have to have it under contract. We have to sign a joint venture agreement. I got to be CC'd on the emails with the title companies and things like that.
yeah,
My name has to be on the HUD statement. You know what I mean?
yeah.
This company's get paid, your company get paid. If any of that stuff don't mash up, I can't fool with it.
You got a good point because a lot of wholesalers would rather go down with the ship than than say I need some help that get a JV. They'd rather lose the deal. They're like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I'm not going to ask for help. I'm not going to reach out to anybody. I'm just going to lose the deal.
You know
You got
why?
it. That's a good point.
It's a money grab for them. It's not a business. So they don't have the same uh morals, values, and principles that a real deal investor has. Like I'm not just a wholesaler, I'm an investor too. So I know what people are looking for. I'm not gonna pay $80,000 for a house that's only worth 120. Where's my room at? Can I refi
Yeah.
after I put it in there? Can I like you have to I think people have to think about that. You have to know what your buyers want. Are they buying at 75%? Are they buying at 65%? Where are they buying at? And just provide that service to them.
Yeah, well, that's an excellent point. That's a good point about those wholesalers. Best thing about being a wholesaler. What do you got?
Relationships, man. You build tons of great relationships with people all over the world. You know, whether it's California, New York, Florida, and even if they're not your like friend, they're a good associate. So now when you vacation in Florida, you can call up one of your uh buyers and say, hey, I'm in the area, and they can show you around the area a little bit more. You know, great
Yeah.
relationships, and you can learn a lot from not only just the buyers but the sellers too.
Where do you think the market is headed? You know, a lot of people been kind of scared. You know, a lot of people hearing whispers about people. You know, maybe wait until next year to buy. What do you think?
And
Uh,
people are still buying. I don't care what anyone says. You got to know what they're buying. Like think about this. Remember, I was telling you, like I started in COVID. Everyone, oh, well, I don't know what's gonna happen in the world. Well, good. That's the best time to jump in on it. You know, like I
yeah,
don't care what I don't. I'm not gonna say I don't care what the market does, but are people not still buying homes? Yes, they are. Are they still not buying land? Yes, they are. Are they still not building? Yes, they are. Are people buying apartment complexes and commercial property? Yes, they are. Why not get a piece of that pie? Forget I don't listen to all of that. That's noise to me. I'm still
yeah,
closing deals to this
yeah.
day. I got another deal I just got under contract. I'm still closing deals to this day. And the reason why is I know what my buyers want. I know where they want it. I know how they want it. So I know the success level.
Understood. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. I know you were talking about you were wholesaling. I think what 2000 or you got in real estate in 2019.
Yeah.
So you've been a wholesaler for 3 going on 4 years now.
Roughly I'm gonna officially say 3. I can't count my study as that, but 3 years.
You
Yeah.
don't count the university
I
time with
can't count the university. I count
okay.
the days on the job. So yeah.
Okay, that's how I count mine too.
Yeah.
I don't count when I was just learning. Until I got serious and I said I'm a wholesaler. 100%. I don't.
Yeah.
That's when I count mine too.
Most definitely.
In your first year, what kind of numbers were you doing? What kind of were you making a lot of deals?
Crazy numbers, man. My first 6 months I did over 300,000. That's because we had a system in place, man, and I knew what to expect, man. I like when I say I knew what to expect, we made great money because I'm a relationship person. When I'm talking to these buyers, I'm not just talking to them solely about a house. I'm talking, how's your family? How's your daughter? How's your son? How's your wife? How's those Bengals? How the Bears? How's the Jets? We're really talking, like
I,
having
I,
a regular
I,
conversation.
I gotta pause for a second. I don't know if anybody, who sees this in the future, like I don't know if y'all know how much somebody making $300,000 in their first 6 months. I mean, I've met some wholesalers, but this probably like crushes all the other stories. This man is, it's a, that's success. At least I can't think of another wholesaler that has beat that mark.
It
In the
was a young
first.
guy. It was a young guy that killed me his first year. He was only 19. He did $1 million his first year. I don't remember his name. I remember meeting him, and he had receipts.
He had
He had
receipts.
receipts. He had the HUDs. Like I tell people, I got receipts too, man. Like
And
you have
well,
to have
like,
receipts to back. You know what I mean?
yeah, you gotta have receipts to back it up. But yeah, I just don't know if everybody knows just you know, how much money that is. But my guy Ariane next door made a video for me, Afghanistan to 100 grand, but not
Yeah,
300 grand in 6 months. No, that's a whole nother movie. But I just want people to
man.
understand,
You know,
just what you got.
once you know something, you know it. Like I think we spoke offline before. I was talking about the analogy of why is Shaq one of the greatest centers in the NBA history. 7'2", 300 and something pounds. He dominated the paint. Dominated the paint. 20, almost 30 points a game. Now imagine if you took Shaq and you said I need you to shoot 3 pointers. He's not going to be effective. Probably only average about 10 points a game because he had a low
Maybe.
3-point percentage, maybe, or vice
Maybe.
versa. have Seth Curry in the paint posting up against 7-footers. You think he's gonna average 28 points? No. So once you find out what you're good at in your game, dominate. Just like really focus more on that. Once I figured out what to do as far as like reversing the strategy, I'm not gonna put the saddle before the horse. You get what I'm saying? Why would I get a list blindly not knowing what I'm getting? I go to a different market, I do my research. I see who's purchased these properties, how many properties that have they purchased, what are the hottest zip codes? I take the hottest zip codes, boom. What's the average square footage they're buying? Between what range and what range? All right, let me get this. Boom. What year build are they doing? Let me get this here. And now I have something that I know they're going to buy. I know it because they've already purchased there. You know, success leaves clues. You just have to be aware of those clues. They literally right in front of your face every day.
Success leaves clues. Somebody write that down.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Success leaves clues. So in the 6 months you made 300,000. What did you like for the whole year? Did you like, I don't know, end up like $500,000 or just?
It wasn't a half a million. It was like 400 some change because when I first wholesale, I didn't wholesale that whole year. Well, I really only wholesale like 9 months out of the year. Was successful 9 months out of that first year, and then we just pretty much almost double up the next year. Now we're to the point where, like, I don't know. Well, I can't show it right now, but it's nothing to get 3 deals in 3 days.
3 deals
Nothing.
in 3 days.
3 days. Like right
So
now,
like in a month, maybe 20 deals in a month.
It's nothing. It's nothing to get 20 deals. The goal is always 10. That's the goal. Well, the goal is really 20, but if you fall below your goal, you got 10.
How much marketing would you say you would have to do? Like, like $5,000. Like, how much marketing would that take to get?
It depends on what the buyer has, right? And what I mean by that is certain markets are not huge markets, but they're like, okay, let's look at Hamilton County, which is in Ohio. It's about 900 some thousand people in Hamilton County, but it's only almost 400,000 in Cincinnati. But Cincinnati is a part of Hamilton County, so I know if I just get a list of 25,000 and I really do a niche market, and what I mean by niche market, okay, I can focus on probate. I know I'm going to average at least $25,000 a deal. Now, you're not going to get that immediately. It may take 9 months. I mean, not 9 months, 90 days. But guess what? That's trickle down money, right? So imagine getting 4 of those in a month, but you don't get paid for 3 months at 25,000. That's 100,000. That comes later on. Then let's just say, with one market, you get 1 deal a week at $10,000. That's 40,000. But then you go to another market, you may only get 30,000. Then you may go to another market, you may get 20,000. Then you go to another market, you get 60,000. It depends on the size of the market based upon where you're going to get. So you have to know those markets.
Makes sense. What deal? Even though I think you might answer this, what deal did you learn the most? It's probably the deal with the lady with the 9 houses, or is it another?
I mean, I learned so much. I learned that you have to protect yourself because people are snakes. And what I mean by that is, man, protect your neck, man, because in wholesaling, me personally, I don't put anything on Facebook ever. I stopped doing that at the beginning because you have some wholesalers that just snipe those deals. They wait till a rookie to put it out there. They get that information. They call right behind your back, get that bad boy under contract, put a memorandum, and you're out the deal.
Cut you right out.
So I learned not to do that unless I'm protected.
Don't do that, guys, unless y'all protected.
Protect yourself. It's like boxing. Protect yourself at all times, man.
At all times.
Don't think wholesaling is sweet. It's a lot of grimy people in wholesaling, man. And the best way to get a grimy person is to protect yourself. So I learned from that. I also learned to come collaborate with other wholesalers. Like, what's it to me to collaborate with you? Like, if you're in Georgia,
Yeah.
uh, and I want to get in the market, and you're already down there, I'm gonna do a couple of JVs with you. I don't care. I would rather make a percentage of something than 100% of nothing any day.
It's the right attitude to have. I mean, hopefully
Period.
more wholesalers start to do that. Hopefully, you'll be able to start a trend because a lot of people go down with the ship.
Yeah, it's
I don't know
greed.
what that is.
It's greed. You can't. What's the word? It's okay to eat, but don't be a glutton of wholesaling.
That's what most people are, but yeah,
And
I
that's why
don't
they
know.
phase out. That's why they phase out. They don't last long. I don't seen so many top wholesalers phase out in 6 months. It's a relationship. Once people start saying, "Oh, no, I don't fool with him. I don't fool with that." Words start traveling. That's you're blacklisted. You're blackballed. And they're like, I'm done with that
Yeah,
because you're hiking up the ARV to benefit you. You're coming up with stuff that's not really comps. You got something 3 miles down the road. That's not a comp. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
And they're presenting this to an investor, and they're like, I'm not dumb. You know what I mean?
yeah. No,
So,
I know what you mean. Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, I'd rather you know, not overshoot. I will rather deliver something where it's going to be beneficial for all parties. I'm okay with making 10, 15 grand. A lot of people, oh, that's too low. All right, cool. Well, if you're dealing in the Midwest market, I doubt you're going to make 30, 40 grand a deal. Now, if you go to these other markets like Cali, Arizona, I don't fool with Arizona nor Texas. That's oversaturated for me.
yeah.
But you can go to these other
Yes.
markets and make more. Or you can I got my daughter in the background here. Let me put my head so you won't see her. But go to other markets and do land. Who said you had to wholesale single families? You got land. You got you got all these different opportunities and options. Why limit yourself? So
Yeah. I mean, the way you talk, maybe you could even wholesale fruits. Like, you like wholesale
man,
anything. You like, man, y'all be
hey,
wholesaling.
everything is a middleman. I don't care what you look at. Like, okay, you can look at this phone right here, right? This
Yeah,
phone probably didn't cost $1,000. But what if I buy them in bulk? What if I buy these phones in bulk, right?
yeah,
And now I get them for $350, right? And then I sell them for $800, which is still $200 less, just so that way they can resell them to make money. I don't care how much you make off the deal.
yeah,
Let me just make mine. I don't count people's pockets. I think in wholesaling, you have to just focus on what's good for you. You know.
yeah. You might even have to make a general wholesaling course, not even just real estate. I mean, like wholesaling everything. Wholesaling the phones. I mean, especially when you were talking about the stuff you learn from your old jobs and how you put it all together. Like, it's just wholesaling. Like there's probably a lot of other wholesaling things out there that people can, sleeping on.
Yeah, I'll give
But
you
you
one
can
right
start a
now.
new industry.
I'll give you one right now. I mentioned to you offline about a company called TQL, which is Total Quality Logistics. One of the top logistics company in the United States, and they don't even own a truck. So how are
Don't
you moving product from A to Z? You don't own a truck. Well, what they do is they get in contact with the person that have a goods like a Kroger or a Rouse, and they say, I could take your product from California to Kentucky for, let's just say, $4,000, using that as an example. They're like, all right, cool. How many loads do you have? Well, I do 50 a week. So they're like, all right, cool. 50 a week at $4,000. Then they get the contract, right? And
Yeah,
all they do is they send it out to buyers, to truck drivers that want to drive. And instead of 4,000, they may pay them 3,000. How much did they make? They made $1,000. But they handled they handled everything from the beginning to end. They're talking to the provider. They're talking to the truck driver. They're talking to all of these people. They making sure that product gets to the location. And if you do
being in
that,
the middle.
you create a reputation. And then they say, well, I can give you 100. Then I can give you 150. And those $1,000 start adding up. And that's how I look at wholesale. I don't care if I make 10, 15 grand. That stuff adds up. I do 10 deals at 100. I mean, 10 deals at $10,000, $100,000. Most people don't even make $100,000 in a year. What am I complaining about? You start
Yeah,
complaining about
yeah,
making $100,000 in a month, you're greedy. $100,000 is nothing to sneeze about. You know what I
no,
mean? That's
no, yeah,
$1.2 million a year.
yeah.
I don't
Um,
know too many people making that.
yeah, I don't know too many people making that either. Even I mean, wholesalers, doctors, maybe I mean, I don't know, maybe the quarterback of Alabama or something. You get some endorsements or something. But yeah, not too many
But
people.
that, and that's
Not
what
too
I'm
many people
saying.
making that.
And where is real estate going? Everyone needs a place to stay, so it's always going to be relevant. I don't care about the interest rates. I don't care about the housing shortage or whatever. People need places to stay. Period. Right now, you're probably in the house.
I'm in
It
the
wasn't
house.
free. I'm in the house. It wasn't free. My
Yeah.
neighbors, they're in the house. Real estate is never going anywhere. It's been there since the beginning of the time, and it'll be there until even when we leave.
Are there any wholesalers that that you kind of I don't know if I want to say look up to, but you still kind of like maybe look at to find inspiration or to look at like maybe I don't know. Are there any wholesalers you check out, see what they're doing anymore? Like any
You know
on
what I
YouTube
like?
or
I like Max Maxwell, and the reason why is he's like, you know what, wholesaling, yeah, I did it, done it, I'm still doing it, but I'm on the bigger, better, greater things. I'm living my life. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. I think wholesaling is a springboard to success for other things that you plan on doing. Because you go from wholesaling to fix and flip, or to buy and hold, or development, or you create a tech company, or whatever the case may be, a group home. But
yeah,
you can take that money and utilize it somewhere else to live out your dreams. You know.
yeah.
So I like what he's done. I remember him giving like free game. He gave like a roadmap. Hey, here's your cold callers. Your VA is this. You should be able to make X amount of dollars. I said that's dope.
Max Maxwell. Yeah, I like Max Maxwell.
Yeah.
Are there any books that you think that wholesalers should be reading, or maybe not even just wholesalers, like any, like
People in
anybody in the
general.
real estate game? Um,
Yeah. Any of my mentees, I tell them to read these books. One of them being The Secret by Rhonda Byrne.
let's
It'll
see.
change. It'll change the way your outlook is on life in general. Think positive, you go get positive things. You think negative, you go get negative things. Right.
Yeah,
Another book is by Steve Harvey called Jump. He pretty much talks about his trials and tribulations until he got to that point, but faith and fear. He took faith and he took the leap of faith,
yeah.
right? So that's another good book. Richest Man of Babylon is my favorite book.
I, man, I love that book. I used to be in
Favorite book.
I was in I think Kuwait.
Hmm.
No, I wasn't in Kuwait. I was in Kenya. I was in Kenya, and I was reading that book all the time. They're like that. What you done? Reading Richest Man in Babylon. Like, yeah, love that
Yeah,
book. Yeah,
and
love it.
it applies to anything business and in life. Knowing how to reinvest your money and do certain things. I like that book. A lot of people like Think and Grow Rich. I think it's cool if you apply it. Many people just read it. That's all they do. Apply that. They giving you the game in there. Um, Another book by Napoleon Hill. Me personally, I don't advise read the book. I say look at the infograph. It's called Outwitting the Devil.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, I've heard of that.
It's a dope book. I advise people read that, and then as you start growing in your business, you go to books that feed your soul, right?
Yeah,
But those are like the core books that I tell people to read to get an understanding, because you have to be resilient in business. And you have to have a level mind in business, and you have to know how to invest in business, and you can't have fear in business, and you have to plan out 3, 5, 10 years. You can't just think about today.
but or maybe you can have fear, but you can't let it control you. You just gotta
Yeah,
like
yeah.
maybe your fear of going being hungry will keep you working. Like keep you.
No, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
like to a sense of awareness, put it that way. I remember being homeless at one point. I
yeah,
really do. I remember when I was in college and I was throwing parties and stuff started going downhill. I had nowhere to stay. You know, I got evicted from my house. I got my car repossessed. I had
Oh man.
nothing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I remember that feeling of being in college, not having a car, not having a place to stay, a book bag on my back, walking up this big old hill in a rain, sleet, or snow, just so I can have a safe haven. So that's why I did
Yeah.
all my credit hours because I'm like, I don't have a place to stay.
Yeah.
You know, so I remember that feeling. And anytime I feel like, oh, this is too difficult, I was like,
You're like, not
You
hard as
remember that
that.
time? You
You're
remember that
like,
time?
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as long as I
Not as
got food, shelter in my family, man, the rest of the stuff is extra, man.
Yeah, you like this
Serious.
too easy compared to,
Man,
I mean, this might sound strange to say, but it might even been a blessing, blessing
it
in the skies
was.
for you,
It was. Certain things happen to people to create character and make them who they are today.
Yeah,
So
that's I didn't know that. We've talked a little bit offline, but I did not know that. But I can see it.
yeah,
That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah. You gotta have to
Um,
keep that hunger in you, man.
yeah, gotta keep it on. How does someone work with you?
Well, they remember I was telling you, can't have fear. You got to have faith and you got to have purpose. If you're just looking to make money, I don't want to work with you. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose?
Yeah,
You know, um, and you have to be committed. I know that's cliche. I can tell in the first 2 minutes when I talk to somebody if they're serious. And I'm not about to waste my time on someone that's not serious because I have a family to take care of. They rely on me to be successful. And if you don't
yeah.
have that same mentality, I can't work with you. So you,
Can't be
you have
spinning
to
your
have that.
wheels.
No,
Yeah,
man, you got to have morals, values, and principles, man. I tell people you got to be an MVP before you become an MVP.
yeah. At least in work ethic. At least in commit. At least in commitment. At
Yeah,
least you got work ethic. You got MVP work ethic before you might become an MVP.
yeah, most definitely.
Um, how I mean, is legacy important to you? And if so, like, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's the main thing. I'm not just doing this for myself, man. I mean, you look at some of the greatest people in the world. Uh, you can just name them. Most of these people that you name, they've been dead for years. But why are you still talking about them? They left a lasting impression. But then
Yeah,
what did they leave for their family? And people think legacy is money. It's not money. It's the wealth of knowledge that they can take and use to continuously do the same thing that you started on. And to have that understanding of what it takes to assure that your family taken care of. So what I'm doing now is for my family, is for my daughters. I don't want them to not know. I don't want them to go out here and have a husband and they're relying on him. Now I'm not trying to create a what's the word? I'm not trying to create them to be like so independent that they don't think they need anyone. No. I just want them to have the knowledge. Because when I'm dead and gone, I won't be able to talk to you anymore,
yeah.
but you'll remember the lessons that I taught you and that you utilize that knowledge. And that's the legacy that I want to leave behind.
Hopefully, your grandkids and great grandkids will be able to see this video, and like you'll be, they'll be hearing this, and you'll be talking to them as well. But
Oh yeah, they definitely gonna see it. Your grandkids too when you have some.
yeah, mine too, mine too. But yeah, like you got
Yeah,
some good stuff. We reaching an hour, so I don't know if how much more how much more time you're gonna bless us with, but everything you said, man, people need to hear it.
yeah.
I really appreciate you taking your time out to speak to Wholesale TV today. Anything else you think maybe you got something to say that I haven't asked that people need to know.
I just to in wholesaling and in business in general, treat it like a business, man. Don't treat this like a hobby. That's not going to get you anywhere. Create your LLC. Well, first, this is what I say: get you a
Yeah,
virtual office, like 49-50 bucks with the Venture Alliance. Get your LLC. Get your tax ID number so you can open up your business bank account. Register your business with Dun and Bradstreet and things like that. So that way, when you get your net 30 terms and lines of business, you can get computers through Quill. and pay 30 days later because you have that business credit. Establish yourself as a business. Uh, have really have your LLC, have everything in order. Pay your taxes. If you can't find a tax professional, go to 1-800 accountant. They'll handle it for you. Um, if you don't know how to file your business, go to LegalZoom. They know how to do it for
Mhm.
you. You know,
I didn't even know that. I use a CPA, but I didn't
yeah.
know.
I use
Yeah.
1-800 account. I use anything that's easy for me. That I like portals. I like to be able to see stuff, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I mean, establish your business, establish your brand, have a website, have a business phone number, have a business email, not a Gmail account. Have a business whatever your business is.
Yeah.
Uh, SamBuysHouses.com. Whatever the case may be, do whatever you need to do to establish yourself as a business. Get on a directory with yellow pages and all these different places. Let people put reviews on Google about you so people know if they can trust you with doing business. But yeah, treat it as a business, man, and work it as a business.
Do
Have
do you
business cards. Go
do you
ahead.
put your business on Better Business Bureau or no?
I mean, people can put stuff on there anyway. I don't put it on there
Okay.
per
I was
se.
just asking.
I don't put it on there. I'm not about to pay them to take my information. but no, what I do tell people to do is once you have your business established and you talk to a potential seller, if they give you 10 minutes of your time or their time or 15 minutes, and what if they sent you pictures? What I tend to do, I send them like a Starbucks gift card, digital Starbucks gift card for $10. Hey, I appreciate you. They'll remember you more than they remember the other 5 people that called because you gave them something before you gave them something.
Wow, that is good. Now that he's dropping, that's a gem
Yeah.
right there. I hadn't thought about that, but I'm sure they would remember that.
Yeah, you can customize those cards too if you do like digital or physical. So you can have a Starbucks gift card with your business information to give it to somebody at a walkthrough.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about it for myself. Oh, you got me over here thinking. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
it works,
yeah,
man.
like,
You want to have a lasting impression with people. But they didn't have to talk to you. But since they did, thank you. I appreciate this time. So, I say do that too.
yeah. No, that's a real good idea. People never forget when when you do something nice for them. Especially
Yeah.
unexpectedly.
They,
They're not gonna be expecting that card to pop
nah.
up.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
so used to people taking from them. But when you give someone something and you give it from the heart, man, like life is not that difficult. People are not that difficult. Just treat people like how you want to be treated. So, my rule of thumb is when I talk to a seller on the phone, I put them in a category. If it's an older man, I treat him like my father. If it's an older woman, I treat her like my mother. If it's someone close to my age, I treat them like a sibling. If it's someone younger, I treat them like my niece and nephew. I have a level of respect and they can tell that I'm genuine because at the end of it all, even if you don't sell to me, even if you don't agree to anything, you're gonna get something from me. And I'll lead you in the right direction, whether you sell to me or not. And that's how you get referrals too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I like that. I do that. Sometimes I've showed sellers like this is for sale by owner on Zillow. If you don't want to sell to me, you don't want to use an agent. This is how you do it, whatever. And
yeah,
I've even had them call me back like that. Blah blah blah. Because I helped them. With something like that. So yeah, you're
yeah,
right about that.
for sure. But yeah, just treat people like humans. Treat people with a level of respect, man. Like you're making money in wholesale, and that's a blessing. Be a blessing to others. If they need moving expenses, you making 10, 15, $20,000. Spend $800 and take care of movers for them. What's it to you? It's a write off too.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a
pay
write
for
off.
pay for 3 months of storage. That's a write off. So even if you
Yeah.
invested $1,000 with them, that's probably the reason why you got the deal. Old lady, old man can't afford. Not that they can't afford. they don't have the ability to move around like how they used to. Take care of that for
Do you surprise your the people you're working with or your VAs, with stuff like that too, or?
them. Yeah, I incentivize them too. Like they send so many deals over. I'll give them something extra. I deal with a lot of people in the Philippines. You only need $500 a month to survive in the Philippines. So even if you pay them $3 to $5 an hour, let's just say $5 an hour, 40 hours a week, that's 200, that's $800. They're making $300 more than the average. Now, say for instance, you incentivize them with another $50 and you got 10 deals and you just gave them another $500. They're living like kings and queens and they're like, you know what, I'm not going anywhere. You got to take care of the people to take care of the business because they don't work for you, they work with you. And if you treat people as such, they'll make sure you're taken care of.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody heard that. If you take care of people, they'll take care of you. You got that.
That's
Hey,
true.
okay. You froze for a second, making sure you're still here. But
I'm
any other info, any other gems for the future wholesalers, future entrepreneurs, future wholesalers of truck, any kind of wholesalers. I don't know.
one thing I tell people, keep your circle small. Associate with people that's gonna better your situation and not take from it. Stay around positive people. You'll get positive things. Guess what? Your bank account's gonna be positive. You hang around negative people, guess what? Your bank account's gonna reflect that too. So
Yeah.
choose the people that you're associated with wisely. Don't spend too much time on social media looking at unnecessary things. Solely focus on your craft, even if that means isolation temporarily, because a temporary isolation can change your entire life. And I'm only speaking from my own experience. That's what I had to do. I had to
Yeah, to go
separate
to the
myself.
mountaintop, huh?
You have to. You have to. And just really stay focused and know what you're doing it for. And yeah, you're gonna have tough times, but those are tough moments. That's not your whole life. How many times have you had a tough time and you thought it was the end of the world and you surpassed it?
You still here.
So you're still here. So just look at it like, okay, this may be a learning lesson. Learn from it and keep it moving. It's not the end of it.
Yeah,
So
that's important for everybody
yeah,
in all walks of life. Yeah, you
yeah,
still be here. Yeah,
yeah. Just know you got it, man. We all have a God given ability to create, you know, create what's best for you. Create what's best for you.
yeah, you
And just make sure that you give it your all.
yeah
Just go.
you've rewritten your whole story. Like you saw you saw what you wanted. You made
Yeah,
a plan. You're like maybe your story would have went like this, but you wrote it and lived it, or you're living it, I guess.
yeah. Make those dreams a reality.
Yeah,
And whatever you can visualize, write it down and work towards it. It's gonna happen. You're gonna meet the right people at the right moment. You don't even have to force it. It's gonna organically happen. You just have to be fully aware when that moment takes place. And you have to take ego out of it. If I would have never took ego out of it or pride, I would have never got in contact with my mentor.
yeah,
It was the best thing I could have did. Put that ego and pride to the side and admit that I need direction. And
yeah.
once you
I
admit that,
like
you'll
when you
get it.
asked them. You said, "I don't know what you're doing, but can I be a part of it?" You're like, what? Like, let me.
Yeah,
Like, I see you. You're doing better. Like, what you got going on? Like,
yeah,
show me. Yeah,
yeah.
you were being humble and
That's where it's at. You
yeah,
said the key word: being humble and having gratitude.
yeah.
Being humble and having gratitude. But I'm a regular guy, man. I don't care how much money I make. I don't. I don't care if I make $1 million in a month. I'm still gonna be the same Reg. Just gonna have
Same
more zeros,
OG.
but just gonna have more zeros behind the name. But I'm gonna still be the same Reg, man. I care about people. I want to I want people to do great, not just for me. It's not about me. I want them to do great for themselves. Like we have everything that we need inside of us. We just have to channel our mind to make it a reality. That's it.
Yeah. I, sometimes, people say like, like I am sufficient. Like everything I need, is already within me. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
already there. Everything else is extra, man. So
Man, I hope y'all
there it
see
is.
like Reg is a positive person. Like this is the kind of people you need to be around, like full of positivity, full of ideas, Um like this is the kind of mentor, this is the kind of friend, this is the kind of, uncle if you're lucky, like you need to have like, this is good stuff.
I appreciate it. I really do. And I don't take credit for any of this, man. Like God gave us a gift. He gave us all a gift, right?
Yeah.
And we can't sit here and get hype about the gift. It's not ours. It was given to us. What we can do, we can celebrate the direction that we went in with the gifts that we have. You can
Yeah.
do that. But, you know, I'm just fortunate to be here. I'm fortunate to be able to assist people. And I want to see the people close to me make it, man. I really do. I truly
Have
do.
you some of the people that I guess were struck like your partner that started with you, like I guess he's probably at least
He's
doing well for himself.
he's doing good. He was only
Yeah.
20. He was only 20. Let me see. He's 23 now. I think he was 21. He was 21, but he made more money than a doctor his first year. Now he has a cleaning business and all of this stuff. He's doing well for himself, man.
Yeah, I bet that feels good. Yeah, I bet that feels real good.
It feels amazing. I'm glad that I impacted someone's life in a positive magnitude.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
his kids and his kids and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
The gift that keeps giving, you know.
yeah.
So but
Well,
yeah.
we appreciate your time, Renaissance Reg. Also goes by I don't know. Can I say your government name? Can I?
You
Is
can
it
say my government
okay?
name.
Reggie Duskin, right?
Yeah, Duskin. You can Google it. I'm not tripping.
He's an author. No, I'm saying yeah, he's an
Yeah.
author. So you can look up his book on Amazon. I'm gonna put the link once again in the description below, so you can check out his book. I think he might be putting out some more books in the future. I'll have him back on and he can talk about those books. He's got a lot of stuff to talk about, so I got to bring him on other themes and other things. A lot of stuff that
Yeah.
we need to hear, especially your credit. There's a lot of wholesalers that need business credit, that need personal credit.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of people in general, not even wholesalers that need it. They
For
need to hear
sure.
it.
And
Um,
it's a blueprint right there in the book. No holds bar. Everything is right there.
got it. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out today.
All right.
Maybe I don't know. Is there an audible? Is there an audible version of it?
You know what? I was gonna come out with it, but I didn't want to use my voice, man. So
What?
maybe maybe
Oh
maybe maybe
man,
maybe 2.0 I change the cover of it and then have Morgan Freeman do it for me.
man, you ain't got no,
No,
you
I'm
ain't got
just,
no fear. You ain't got no fear. You ain't got no fear.
nah,
You
no
got it.
fear.
Yeah, you got
Nah,
it.
I just may do that.
You should, man.
Let's check back in 3 months. Maybe I'll do the audio version and change it
Man,
and add some more to it.
yeah, man. That's gonna be great, man. You got like the right kind of voice too. Like it's gonna be
Appreciate it.
it's gonna be good. Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah,
good. But yeah, the Audible, you can send it out. People can listen to it while they on their way to work.
yeah,
People don't like to read. People don't like to read.
man.
You get them,
I
gotta
ain't gonna
give them
lie.
an audiobook.
I don't like to read either. I like audiobooks. While I'm driving around, like if I'm reading a book, I'm gonna go to sleep, man.
You gotta do the audio book. People driving, they in traffic, they learning.
Yeah,
That's
you're
what
right.
that's what you gotta that's what you
All
gotta
right,
do.
mark my words. It's what is it, 11/11/2022. I'm gonna do the audio book buyer before February 2023. That's my
Buyer,
word.
everybody hear that?
You
Buyer
heard that?
before February 2023, he will have his audiobook coming out. Oh, I guess on Audible or some,
Yeah.
some place.
I'm gonna do a Kindle version as well because I only did the paperback, but I'm gonna do all versions, and then I'm gonna have a wholesaling book here in a second.
Oh boy,
So
okay. Got a wholesaling book. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. That would be good. Because when I first started wholesaling, and even now, you know, sometimes people come out with books, but I'm like, does this guy really know how to wholesale? You know, like I don't know. Like sometimes I don't want to buy the book because I'm like, I don't know, like if this is a guy, you know, like I ain't seen their receipts, you know, like
Yeah. Show me the receipts. I got to see the receipts if I'm gonna trust
you. You know,
what I mean?
yeah, because I've seen some wholesale books, but not. I mean, I haven't seen any from like Maxwell, and like these are just people I didn't even know who they were. You know, so no, I didn't get the book, but I'm gonna have to check yours out. You might have some more secrets in there. You
Got
know,
some secrets, man. They say you want to hide something, put it in a book. That's when
yeah,
you buy books.
put it in the book. Put it
Yeah.
yeah, put it in the book. But yeah, that's what you put it. I seen you know offline some of your messages that you've written, like some of the things. I'm like, what? He said that in a, you know, in a message, like in a comment. Nobody
Read
read
Reddit.
that. Yeah, no, on Reddit. No, nobody read that.
I
Like,
think I gave 2 hedge fund companies.
yeah,
No one even
he
paid
gave 2
attention.
hedge funds away. Nobody liked it, and I was looking. I was like, what is that? Is that a hedge fund? What's
Yeah.
that? Is that
Big
real?
time was too, right?
What?
Big
You
time.
saw it?
Yeah. Big time
Yeah,
hedge
man.
fund.
That had me rolling. I was like, man, this man's legit. But
Man, I appreciate it.
yeah, too legit to quit. But that's good stuff, man. We gotta have you on again sometime, maybe in February when your book drops, you know, give you some time, you know.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to, I'm gonna read the book. Hopefully you have it on Kindle soon, because I like to get my digital books, you know, instead of getting the real book. But if
I
not,
have it on Kindle. For you, I'll make sure it's on there by next week. That's my
okay,
word.
yeah, I'll get the Kindle and I'll just click through it. You know, say the
Okay.
trees, you
Yeah.
know.
Say the
All right,
trees.
man. Well, we
Nah, for
appreciate your
sure.
time, man. You know, had fun today, you know, and we can't wait to have you back.
Nah, most definitely. I appreciate it. Until
All right,
next
man.
time.
All
All
right, till
right.
next time. Peace.
Peace.